Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hi, it is Coach Danny D with Workflow, and I'm here with the Profits in Pajamas podcast, where we are talking about work life balance, talking about how we can get to the space that we are living a life that is fulfilled, as well as having a successful business. So, we talk about how we can navigate that, and sometimes it's through, our processes and systems. Sometimes it's through mindset and some of the things that we have to work on within ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves. So today's topic is about um today's topic is stop wasting time. And I'm sure when a lot of you saw the title graphic, you had a particular thing in mind and, time management and all that type of stuff. And I've done episodes about that, and I probably will do episodes about that in the future, but that's not where I'm going with this. So stop wasting time. This one has been burning a hole in my pocket because over the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing it play out in professional settings and personal settings, just everywhere. I've been seeing it play out. And what I mean by stop wasting time is figure out what it is that your objective is. And that doesn't have to just be business. Because a lot of times we have business goals and we don't have personal goals. We focus so hard on being, quote unquote successful in a very traditional sense, hitting a certain dollar amount or achieving a certain thing in we don't think about it comprehensively. Like what does, success, look like as a whole? Because yes, there's a dollar amount that I want to reach in my business, but there's also a certain level of comfort that I want to have. There's a certain level of security and, lack of stress that I want to have in my life. Peace is important to me, joy is important to me, being able to fellowship with my friends and family is important to me, right? So all of those things are a part of what I consider my success story. So stop wasting time. What do I mean by that? If it doesn't have anything to do with those things, then why am I entertaining it? If it doesn't have to do with you getting closer to your success story, then why are you entertaining it? We spend an absorbent amount of time entertaining nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And because we're enthralled in it, it feels like, it looks like it's important. But at the end of the day, it's nonsense. And then we wonder why we are so tired. That is a part of it. A part of it is that we're entertaining everything that comes in front of us, whether it deserves our attention or not. Sometimes you have to pull your attention away from something. And most times that thing disappears. So I'll give a few examples. So, for instance, the one that I see the most in business, we spend all this time worrying about, fussing about, talking about people who are not our ideal client. Not only not our ideal client, but people we just don't even want to deal with. People who have either disrespected our processes or don't value what we do. We spend a lot of time talking about that. We spend a lot of time talking about my price is my price. We spend a lot of time talking to people who are not our ideal client. I always refer to your ideal client relationship as being similar to a romantic relationship. How long do you think that you're going to stay in relationship with your partner if you are spending all of your time talking about your ex, talking about the person down the street that rejected you, talking about someone else other than your partner? How long do you think that's going to last before your partner is like, you know what? I don't think that you're focused on me. Because that's what you're doing when you are spending time and spending your voice, your platform to speak to things that you don't even want. Why waste the time? The answer is no, and then move on. It's wasted time. You could be using that same energy to be attracting, cultivating, expanding upon the client that you do want. You could be talking to them. You could be talking solely to them, and they could feel so seen that not only do they stay connected to you, but that they share you with other people who also will love you because they feel seen. So why waste your time? Why waste your energy? A lot of times in our personal lives, we we believe that things that are personal are not, are I mean that are not personal are personal. What I've learned over time, and I'm saying this because I've been there, I have internalized other people's stuff, and I have felt a certain way about me because of that person, or I felt a certain way about that person because I felt like they had an issue with me. What I've learned in that regard is most people have an issue with themselves. Most people, all of us, actually are on a healing journey. Some of us are active participants in the healing process. Some of us are not. Some of us are further along than others. Some of us have just decided that we're just going to be how we're going to be. But we're all on a healing journey. And I've learned to look back and realize that that person that person is unsettled with themselves. It's not about me and has never been about me. I just happen to be present for it. But that person is unsettled with themselves. So instead of me engaging that, bringing that energy into my space, I just choose to leave it where it is. I just choose to disconnect and leave that energy where it is. Because as long as I entertain it, I'm allowing that energy to seep into my spirit. So now I'm being tainted by someone else's energy. Wasted time. It's just a lot of wasted time. We have to be more discerning about what we give our time and energy to. And part of it is just we have lost our connection with self. And so therefore we don't get the gut feeling or we don't trust our gut feeling. And we have to get back to a place where we are trusting our gut because I know I can say it, and I know many others can say when we don't trust our gut, we end up in bad situations. We end up, you know, booking a client we shouldn't have booked, or engaging in a friendship or a relationship that we shouldn't have. When something told us up front, this is not it. And we have to get back to that point of learning to trust ourselves and not feeling some sort of way about disconnecting. Because I think people think that disconnecting is is like a an act of aggression, and it honestly doesn't have to be. It just doesn't. Like, there's sometimes now, you know, previous me, I would entertain certain things and, give people the benefit of the doubt when my gut is telling me something different, and go along with it. But that's wasted time. That's my wasted energy when I already know I'm I'm not feeling this. I'm not vibing on this. So if that's how you feel, don't be afraid to say, "You know what? Thank you, but I'm really not interested," or "I don't think that's a good fit for me, but I appreciate you for bringing it to me." And just leave it at that. Like, don't obligate yourself. Well, tell me more about it, or let's discuss it later, if that's not what you truly are feeling. Now, sometimes we do have to stretch ourselves, and we may learn something new and meet new and exciting people. That's fine. But what I'm talking about is when we know that something does not deserve our energy, or when we should start to see that in things. Because again, sometimes you open social media and it's just rant after rant after rant after rant after rant. And a lot of times it's not about anything. It's not about anything. And there's nothing wrong with venting either. I'm not discouraging that, but also, be mindful. I think I have another previous podcast about that. Be mindful of where you are venting. Um, you know, Public venting is usually not a good thing. But there's nothing wrong with venting and getting something off your chest. But if you are carrying it, if it keeps going, and you have a choice, you can resolve it, you can release it, or you can decide that you're going to just carry this baggage. But again, it's taking up space, it's wasting your time, and we already are constantly talking about how busy we are and how we don't have enough time. Well, we don't have time for foolishness. It's just that simple. We don't have time for foolishness. And a lot of times when people, they ask me like, "Oh, well, did that, are you upset about this, or did that thing happen?" I'm just like, I can tell you my thoughts on it, but I don't hold on to a lot of things because it's just wasted time and energy. I may learn from the situation. I may look at a person and say, "You know what? Okay, I learned something about you, and I know where to place you in my universe." But I'm not I'm not a grudge holder. I'm not going to give a lot of energy into other people's bad behaviors, even if it's something that that person did that was wrong. That lets me know how to operate with that person, but I'm not going to carry around the energy, because I need to focus my energy on the things that bring me joy, the things that are part of my success story. So rethink holding on to all this stuff. Rethink. Now, this was a hard one for me. So I'm going to just throw it out there because I know I'm not alone. Rethink having to win the argument or having to be right. Sometimes it's better just to be quiet. Honestly, sometimes it is. I might be 100% right, but I also don't care enough to put the energy into arguing about something that ultimately, again, is not getting me to my goal or success story. So just release. Release that energy. Don't let it take over your brain. Vent if you need to vent. Get out what you need to get out. Remind yourself that if someone has wronged you, most cases it's because of them not being healed in that area and them needing to work on their selves a little bit more. And it really ultimately has very little to do with you. And even if they are presenting it as if it has to do with you, that don't mean that you have to entertain it. You can disconnect. You can just leave that energy right where it is because you need your energy to be over here to do the things you love. Give your energy to positive things. Give your energy to what you want to see grow. Give your energy to actualizing your success story. So that's what I have for you guys today. I want you to check out in the show comments the link for the Calendar Detox Challenge because we so busy. We're so busy. And a part of that busyness is not being in alignment, is not having our success story show up on that calendar and having a whole lot of busy work show up on the calendar. Um, depending on how long you've been following me, and I um highly recommend going back and listening from the beginning of all the episodes. But I am the girl that said no more booked and busy. We're gonna be paid and well rested. So that's where we're trying to be. And that's what the calendar detox is trying to get us away from that concept of feeling like we are successful, we are productive if we're constantly moving. That's not it. We need to figure out what success looks like for us and what gets us there and focus our energy on the things that get us there, not just moving for the sake of saying that we're moving. So check that out in the show notes. The next challenge is going to be starting on July 1st. So make sure you get in there. I highly recommend doing the VIP. If you go to the landing page, you'll see tons of breakthroughs that happen during previous versions of or not previous version, previous cohorts of the challenge. And all of those breakthroughs happened in the VIP room. So I highly, highly, highly recommend joining as a VIP member and, get in before it fills up. July 1st is going to be the start date. It is going to be online, so you don't have to worry about leaving your house. It's going to be recorded so you can play it whenever you like. And I keep those videos nice and short so that you can get in and get out and keep going with your day that is currently busy, but we're going to adjust it so it's a little more balanced that you can make sure that you are working on your goals and your fulfillment all on that calendar. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.